We are aiming to start bang on 7:30 because we are live streaming this tonight and the stream's set to go out at 7:30. So even though most people are here, we do have to wait until 7:30 because Joe's all geared up to go.
Heard it all on the volunteers
You work, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? How's it looking?
No, I don't like that picture.
Get out of the way.
These two starting practice for tomorrow. Andy and Jim will both know.
All right. That's the sound, isn't it? Yeah, but what I was saying is when everyone's quiet, they'll be fine. One sec.
excuse me, technical person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still bang on.
51 people watching.
Just so you know, we've got 51 people watching on live already. We have invited questions coming through YouTube as well. Now already flying in on lots of things. 2 minutes. We just ask that people don't walk in front of the cameras in front of Joe, please, tonight. It's a little bit of an area to focus on the key guests tonight, so try and avoid walking in front of the cameras. Okay, can everybody's attention please. Firstly, thanks to everybody for attending this evening. As I said, we are streaming this, so it's the first time we've done it, so we're going to see how it goes. We've got plenty of people looking in already. I'm not going to say too much, but you'll be pleased to hear, so I'm going to hand you straight over to Peter Mitchell, our new chairman. A round of applause for Peter. Peter's going to give you an introduction to everybody on the top table and then a little presentation which will be going out on our website. I know everybody can't see it properly tonight, but we will be putting this out later on our website and across our social media. So, Peter, over to you.
Evening everybody, can you hear me? Yeah. Which is always a start. It's always a bit of a worry, isn't it, when someone's going to ask for a round of applause it is absolutely my honour, and I mean that sincerely, for me to be here and stand in front of you as the chair of Southborough Football Club, a club with the history and background that it has, and you know, I'm absolutely honoured to be here as your chair, because that's what I am. So, a little bit about myself. Brought up in Norris Green in the council house in the 60s and 70s. Career from both in private industry as a chief exec, but also a parallel career in the public sector. So I'm the former chair of an NHS trust. I'm the former chair of the European Partnership Board. We gave out Objective 1 money in Liverpool during the early 2000s. I'm the former chair of a housing association, large housing association. I was on the board of a regional housing association with 42,000 units. I founded Big Help 12 years ago with a colleague, and I always tell this story. We started in a church hall in Kirby, and my first budget was for £34,000. Year one, we had 2 part-time members of staff. We've got 161 staff, and we'll turn over between 28 and 30 million pounds this year. So it's been growth, significant growth over a long period. I came to see Southport, Mike invited me a couple of years ago, and I just grew to love the whole atmosphere, the whole, you guys, the fans, because any football club, it's about the fans, isn't it? It's about what the fans bring to it. But you are all so passionate, so committed, and it blew me away. And you know, every time we come and we did the sponsorship, and it was just a passion. Hopefully over the next few weeks and months you'll get to know me. I'm a passionate guy, and you know, the expecting quietly retiring, that ain't me. You know, you'll hear me saying it as it is, and I will try and drive things forward because that's kind of my nature and my background. And we're going to talk about tonight, you know, our plans for the future. We've got a short presentation, and I know some of you can't see it, but it is going to go out on the socials. I'm going to introduce you to the table, and then we're going to open it out to questions. And no question is off, you know, any question, whatever it is you ask us. But it's not just about tonight. It is about the future. We will always be in the stands. We will always be there. You want to come and say hello or shout abuse at me? I may shout abuse back. I'm not one of these who'll just leave. Oh yeah, you know, no, I'll give it. But I won't be hiding. None of us will hide. This is our club. Most importantly, it's your club. And we're just custodians. And sometimes people use that word, don't they? Kind of, oh, we're custodians, and it's just a byword. This club has been around longer than Liverpool Football Club. When I first found that out, I thought, that's an astonishing stat. Before Liverpool Football Club existed, Southport was here. And I think that's a remarkable testament. And you are all absolutely remarkable testament to the passion of the fans of Southport. And you know, I'll talk a bit later about our plans and our aspirations to try and meet your aspirations, because you know that's what we want to do. This isn't about us just going through the motions. This is about absolutely bringing success off the pitch, but on the pitch. So let me introduce you to the top table for people who don't know. Everyone hopefully knows Andy Burgess. Give him a wave, Andy, say hello. Anyone who doesn't know Andy has a 15-year plus career in professional football, big career. He's managed, he's coached. Andy's worked for me at Big Help, doing different roles in our health and wellbeing side. As part of our package when we came into the club to support the sponsorship of the ground, we brought Andy. So Andy's kind of, he's funded by Big Help, so he's employed by Big Help, but he's here to bring his analytical skills and his football skills to support our manager Jim Bentley. Say hello. Hopefully I don't need to tell you about Jim's background, but he pretends to be only in his early 40s. I know he's 72. He feels that he's been around so long. But you know, Andy and Jim are going to be answering questions. Next along is our brand newly appointed sporting director. It's Tammy Burgess, and you did hear me right. We've appointed a woman as our sporting director. Not because she's a woman. Tammy, they just applauded you for being a woman. And she's not been appointed because she's a woman, and she's not been appointed because we'll get some cheap publicity. She's been appointed because of her record in football and in sports and in health and well-being. And Tammy will talk a little bit later about her career. We'll again share something on the socials. But Tammy made her debut for, was 17 at Everton. Tammy played for England, played for Everton, played for Liverpool, won the double while at Everton. Long career in women's football. I've worked with Tammy for more years than either of us care to remember, about 20 years, because all the way along, Tammy built a second career, got a degree, came, worked in the community, led on community projects, around sports centres. So Tammy is our Director of Health and Wellbeing at Big Help. She's coming in as Sporting Director, and I'm really, really proud to be saying we have the best appointment as a sporting director that we could do. She also happens to be a woman, and I'm really, really proud of that, and she's waiting to answer questions later. But let's say welcome to Tammy. So, community is really, really important to us. It's in our DNA, it's in our nation. We want to empower communities. to actually achieve what they want to achieve. You'll hear me talk about the word aspirations. Aspirations means different things for different people. And we're all about trying to empower, get people to meet their most, what do they aspire to? How can we help them? And we use, we're an anti-poverty organisation and our charitable arm, and we feed hungry people and we give them support, but we also take them on journeys around education, on employment, and so our Assistant Chief Exec and our Head of Community Engagement is Colette Goulding, so say hello to Colette. So you'll be saying, who's that young girl sat next to Peter? And you think she's just taking the notes, stuff like that. This is Lydia Davies. Lydia is my strategic director of operations, and you think, wow, she's done one. Lydia's one of these pain in the backside people. So I've known Lydia since she was a kid at school, and she nagged me for a job. She had a job. She was nagging me for a job. How long was this, Lydia?
About 5 years.
About 5 years. And I said, oh, there isn't a job for you, Lydia. There isn't a job for you now. Anyway, she rings me up and says, good news, great news. I'm taking 2 weeks leave. I said, oh yeah, great. What are you doing? No, I'm coming to volunteer. There you go. Oh, okay. So she came and volunteered, did the 2 weeks. So I said, well, thanks for that, Lee. That was great. She said, when do I start? I said, no, I don't know. What would you do? She said, I'll be your PA. I said, no. Don't need a PA. Why need? No, you need someone to organise your life and do it. Do you know what best appointment I made was Lydia Davis. She's going to, some of you are going to learn to know. If I need something doing, I'm giving it to her to do. And so you'll get to know it. So say hello to Lydia. Next to Lydia is our newly appointed commercial director, Mike Black. Mike is a Southport fan. It was me that introduced me to Southport. Mike has more years than he cares to remember experience in a number of sectors, but private sector business, housing, estate agents. Even at one time, he was a bobby. So he was a policeman back in the day. And Mike's going to hopefully support us in the growth of the commercial development in Southport, and I'm sure that's something you all believe that we can achieve a lot more of and do a lot more. So Mike Black. Then goes to the far end of the table. Simon Cowie. Simon's the director of the Big Help Group. Simon is originally worked in hospitality. Simon's our Chief Operating Officer at the Big Help Group. So Simon's here, he's going to be supporting the growth of hospitality, but he's also the Chief Operating Officer of the Big Help Group. Simon, and I deliberately talked about Lydia, we're an organisation that gives people opportunities, try to engage people and let them fly. So, Lydia was an example. Simon was an example. Simon, wanted a change. He actually volunteered with us in one of our food banks. How long ago, sir?
8 years.
8 years ago. Simon's our Chief Operating Officer of a £30 million company. I'm really proud to have Simon as our Chief Operating Officer, and he's proud to be here. Simon Cowie. So, two guys next to him, I hope don't need any introduction. So, first of all, Steve Dusman. Everyone knows Steve. What you'll hear me say is this is evolution, it's not revolution. It's about managing stuff. It's really, really important to us that because of our ignorance, and I'll use that word because it's something we don't know or didn't realise, that we've got people who will put us right. And Steve's an important part of that transition. And does anyone not know Potsy? I'm delighted to say Potsy's agreed to stay with us. Potsy's a full board member, and they're part of it. Liam is hiding somewhere. Where are you, Liam? So Liam absolutely is still with us, and Liam is on executive director. What we try to do is actually bring a mixture of experience, but also continuity. There's another non-executive director appointed, and we'll get all the details out for people. His name is Ollie Gottman, and Ollie has a really deep experience. He's an auditor by trade, accountant, and he's been a director at Football League level, but he's also got a master's degree in football development, and so he's a really good guy to have at the table, and you'll get to meet him as he goes on. He's out of the country at the moment. I'm going to ask Andy to go through the presentation, which I know isn't easy because there are people down here who want to see a thing. So Andy, can you whiz through that presentation and talk through some bits? And then we can open it out to questions. And it is... There you go. So, Andy, over to you.
Okay, I think there's 12 or 13 slides covering these different areas of the football club. Hop on to the first one. As Peter's just gone through, this is the structure of the football club. Obviously most people are up here now. Ollie, as you can see, is on the end. That's the board of directors, the operational staff that will work on a daily basis for the football club, listed below. And it obviously speaks for itself, and Peter's covered most of that one. This is a big help group, as again Peter touched on, the purpose, the mission and the vision of the football club, what it does, what it wants to do, and what it aims to do over a period of time while it's in charge of the football club. On the pitch, obviously, you guys as supporters in the stands, this is what you'll be, looking at and wanting to know about, and this is what myself, Tammy, and Jim will be looking at. Obviously, we want to create an entertaining playing style with a winning mentality. I think everybody in here would want us to, entertain and ultimately win games of football. We are currently reviewing the playing squad, having a look at every aspect of it, where we can improve it. It's a difficult time recruitment at the moment in terms of where we are in the season, but we are looking, in depth at the playing squad and where and how we can improve it with the support of the new board, as it says there. The academy obviously has is running with the Christ the King School at the moment. We'll be looking at ways that we can extend that. Obviously, there's nothing better as supporters to look at a football team with 1, 2, 3, 4 players coming from Southport. Even more, we want to embrace that. We're a massive town in the northwest of England, which is obviously a hotbed of football. We need to, as I say, embrace that and try and bring players through here and have more Southport lads on the pitch playing for Southport Football Club. So we are certainly looking to improve and develop the academy and try and get more players through that to come into the first team and play, on a Saturday. And as I say, there's nothing better for you guys to be able to see that. There's little things attached to that we want to improve and put out there a scouting and a recruitment network where we've got a footprint out there in the non-league, looking at players that we can bring through. This football club's got a history of seeing players from lower levels, bringing them to the club and moving them on, which is obviously fantastic for their careers. It obviously generates a revenue for the football club, and I think that's important. That's obviously important for the longevity of the football club and to help the football club. But we want to make sure that if there are players in the local area or the region, that we're aware of them and we've got people out there looking at them and bringing them to our attention as a football club. We're also using, we've just received, at the backing of Peter and the board, received GPS vests for the first team, which, for those who don't know, you've probably seen them in the Premier League. Players wear vests with a little GPS thing in the back of that, which tells you how far they run, how quick they run, I think there's 12 different metrics that you get through those, and we look at them after games, after training, and it just gives us little 1 or 2 percentages to see how players perform. Marcus Carver was the first one who said, "Oh no," I think after he said it again. So we can see how far he runs. But they just give us a little bit of a percentage and give us a little bit of idea about the performances of players through the week and on Saturday. So yeah, lots going on in terms of obviously Tammy's role as a sporting director, about how we can squeeze every little detail out of the players to improve. It won't be done quickly. It's not a quick fix, or not quick fix, but not a quick thing. It's something that might, take a little bit of time to develop. But that's something all these things is something that we're keen to explore and keen to develop from a football point of view. 5-year plan speaks for itself. As you can see, obviously the academy, not only the men's side but the women's side, is something we want to explore and develop. The 19s to 16 scholar, as I say, as you know, we've already got that in terms of the Christ the King relationship. We also know we want to develop a 9s to 16s academy. Again, that's very important. I'm sure Southport as a town lose a lot of people over to Everton and Liverpool and Accrington and Preston, and we should be keeping them, we should be developing them. We need to give them a platform to come into the football club and be part of. So that's something that's very much a focus in the next sort of short term. Commercial, I'm sure will be spoken about as we go, the growth of that. The football side of things, short term, obviously investment in players and training facilities is a big thing. We want to develop and help that to hopefully give us little percentages again, which Jim is very keen to press on. Those little percentages, those little things that we can improve upon should help us on Saturday or Tuesday. And the scouting and analysis, as I touched on previously. The foundation, which is obviously the core of what Big Help do and have done over previous years and they'll bring to this football club, will be a massive part of it, and how we can make this into a community club and put Southport, this facility and this football club we already know is a major part of the community, and we want to develop that more, obviously. And then looking deeper on, obviously it goes down more further investment in players. The discussion around, and I know it's been mentioned at times about a full-time training model. It's not just as easy as that. There are massive pros, massive cons to going full-time, which I'm not going to go through now, obviously, but that's a future thing that is in the thought process. And then obviously, as it says, Sky Bet League 2, investment in players, investment in infrastructure. Who knows, football's a funny old game, isn't it? Who knows where we'll be in 2, 3, 4 years' time, but we can only plan, we can only try and develop the football club as best we can. And obviously that starts out on the pitch, trying to help us and get us to those higher levels. Infrastructure, I think, listen, I've played at a fair few clubs. I've obviously been to a lot of football grounds. I think this is a fantastic football ground. I think you walk in, it's had a lot of work done recently, or recent years, I know, but it's clean, it's tidy. I mean, a lot of Mondays and Wednesdays when the volunteers are here doing a fantastic job painting, and it makes a massive difference. I think this is a fantastic, I'm quite old school, I love old ground with character. I'm a Luton Town fan, so Kenilworth Road for me is
Rubbish!
It's what a football club should look like, a football ground should look like. Keep your Emirates and all the new ones, but we have got a good facility here. But obviously, as we grow, we want to grow the facilities, we want to grow the infrastructure. Again, it's new to Big Help. We're new in here, so we've got to assess everything, look at everything. We know the football club historically has got an issue with parking, for example. I know that's been spoken about already. So. Again, it's small steps, but it's something that we are very much in our thoughts and very much planning for, and looking at what we can do to improve our facilities, both here at Hague Avenue or the Big Help Stadium, also training facilities and everything like that. One big thing that Peter's spoken about is a motto or saying that he wants to go with is football the way it used to be, and a part of that is a pay on the gate turnstile. I think it's in operation tomorrow for terracing, which is a fantastic, I think, initiative in terms of the 20 to 3. Someone saying, do you know what, let's pop down there and go and watch the football. And I think that's a fantastic thing. So little things like that, I'm sure that Peter and the board will appreciate any feedback on that and any views that you guys have got on that and how that can be better, because at the end of the day, you're the supporters who are coming to the ground on match day, and hopefully, you know, we're not improving the infrastructure and work and this ground for us, we're improving it for you guys and making your experience of coming here as good as it can be. So that's it. Jeff.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy. So Andy's, as you can tell, right, analytical, and deluded fellow.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, where do we start? So, you know, there's so much to do, so much to kind of talk about. Aspiration, which is something we've already touched on. So, we aspire to be a full-time football club. I don't know when we're going to be able to reach that aspiration, but absolutely we aspire to be a full-time football club. We aspire to get back into the Football League. We absolutely aspire to. We are stupid. We absolutely know that we've got to improve on the pitch. What does that mean? It means we've got to put money in, and we've got to be able to get the right players and be able to perform on the pitch. But there isn't a magic wand, and we're not Wrexham, we're not Salford, but what we do believe is we can work, put in sustainable growth, and what do I mean on the pitch? And everyone knows it because we've had the conversations. This is about us being competitive. This season, competitive. It's a mad league, this, isn't it? It's an absolutely mad league. When the news came out, we bought it, a mate I hadn't spoken to one texted me, said, what are you doing buying a club 20th in the National League? No, I said, I'll be 20th. I didn't realise we were 12th 2 weeks ago. When did that happen? It's a mad league, but we've got to be competitive. I'm not standing here saying to you, right, it's a promotion of, we're going to be competitive. And Jim, Andy, Tammy are going to work at getting players in that makes us competitive. It's then about building from that. We want to perform on the pitch, and you know, Andy touched on it. Listen, you know, we want to play good football. We want to get the ball on the ground. We want to pass the ball around. We want people to come and enjoy coming to watch football. Andy and Jim need the players to be able to do that. We recognise that. So what have we committed? We've committed to £250,000 equity investment now. So we're going to put £250,000 into the club now. And we've also committed to a further £250,000 for the start of next season. So that's £500,000 injection into the club now. So the question is, you're all saying, oh, what are we going to spend it on? And we need to work together to understand what we need to spend it on. What comes first? Well, I only know what comes first. Playing squad. So you know, Jim and Andy have been working really, really hard, because I know, because I'm in the WhatsApp group, as we're looking at players, they're talking to players. We brought Richie in during the week, and he's a big 6'3" striker who will be a presence up in their boxing arena. But they're working really, really hard to bring players in. But this is not just about bums on seats. How many players did you have at the weekend? Was it 15? 14, 15 players in total?
Suspension,
Yeah. Well, we need more players, but it's not just about, oh, there's someone to sit and one because we've got to sit. We've got to get better players. How do we do that? Well, we've got to get players who are performing at a better level, who are used to performing at a better level. That costs money. We have to rebuild, we have to do it, and we have to do it in a balanced way, because it's November. We have to do it in a balanced way. But I'm confident with the football team, the football team that we've got here to be able to work and bring the right ones. The contacts that we've got through Liam, there's an opportunity. We believe a massive opportunity to bring people in. It's a great club. People come down, seeing some of the other clubs in our league, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to them. Here we are. This is a big club in this league. And we absolutely should believe in ourselves. But first and foremost, it comes on the pitch. First and foremost, we've got to improve. First and foremost, we've got to be competitive. We realise that, so we're going to make that a priority. So what comes alongside it? Absolutely improving our commercial, improving our hospitality offer, generating more income, which will plough straight back out into players and turning that way. But infrastructure in the ground, and we've just been talking, Patsy, at the board meeting about putting a plan together for the ground. And we absolutely want to know what you guys think. But one of the things I'm going to look to do is get plans drawn up for a changing facility to the left here of the main stand, a two-storey changing facility where we can have proper dressing rooms, proper changing rooms for the two teams, the officials and some officers above it. We need to bring part of it in. And why am I making that as an important point? Because you know what? We may not be allowed in to the Football League. 2 promotions? It's only 2 promotions. But if we don't get our off-the-field facilities right, they won't let us in. So we're going to commission an architect. We're going to actually get drawings done. We're going to share those drawings with you. We're going to get what your opinions. And I'm going to look to make a planning application to Sefton Council and see how quickly we can get that through. Now, it's not me saying we're building that next season, so just make it clear. That's not me saying that. But I'm saying we're going to put that preparation work in for when we are going to build it. Because I promise you, if we don't build it, we will have failed. Why will we fail? Because we're not reaching our aspirations. We're not reaching out and grabbing it. So we want to be there. But what comes next, and you touched on car parking. I only found out literally before that the stand opposite the away end came from Old Trafford. I didn't know. How old were they? How old will that be? That's incredible. Yeah, second. So
that's not Old Trafford.
well, I don't know. Apparently they came from Old Trafford. Patsy was there. It must have been 1947 or something. So, what comes next? We don't know. We need to understand what you guys think are the priorities. We believe absolutely there's a massive opportunity. And what we do from a community-based thing, so just whistle-stop thing, so we fed 144,000 people across the Liverpool City region. We have 32 centres across the Liverpool City region where we provide emergency food, but also what we call community food partnership. Nobody goes hungry whenever we're aware. And it's a scandal, an awful scandal, that in 2023 that we have to do this service. But we're really proud of the service we do, and we're as good as anywhere in the country, and I can assure you. We have, for instance, you may not know, we're the largest seller of recycled, remanufactured paint in the country. You're saying, what's he talking about? We have the franchise to remanufacture paint. It's like I'm talking about some sort of gold thing. So you know paint, half a tin of paint, that you might stick in your wheelie bin, which goes to landfill, which costs us all money, which is bad for the environment. So what we do is we take that paint, we remix it. It's a really complicated thing, but essentially it's a big vat, someone with a paddle, we put a colour in, we stick it on the hood, and we sell more paint than any other organisation in the country. And if we make any money, we put it back to our good causes. So rest assured you're going to get lots of recycled paints in we've got 6 shops, and Colette's going to lead on opening the shop in Southport, and shops are a mixture of traditional, we call them community shops, which are nice. But we also sell white goods, brand new white goods. We've got our own consumer credit license. That means we can give out ethical loans at 2%. We did that deliberately to take on some of the unethical loan sharks, some of the people like Bright House, and we won national awards for the role that we played in them going down. So we're going to be doing that in Southport. We're going to make that available. We do debt advice, we do welfare rights, we do employability. There's loads of community stuff that we do. We build houses, we own houses, we've got 4,000 houses, and we strive all the time to do better. You'll always hear me say, profit's not a bad word. Not a bad word. I work with lots and lots of private companies, and I say to them, profit's not a bad word. Do you know what's important? It's what you do with profit. It's what you do with profit. Because if you get profit, you can recycle it, you can put it back, you can redistribute it. And we see Southport as a fantastic opportunity to bring something different, something unique. There's lots of a number of community-led clubs, there's a number of fan-led clubs. There isn't one perfect system, but we believe we can bring a different system, a piece of positivity, and what you'll find is, set me talking, I'll just keep going. So what I'm going to do is throw it open to questions, and not just for me, to everybody at the table. So Jim and Tammy, Andy around the football and about Bishop. So I'm going to throw it open. Over to you, Ron.
Okay, if you want to put your hand up for a question, obviously we're going to try and capture it so everybody hears it watching worldwide. So first question, please. Anybody put your hand up first, and then we can make sure it's there.
Yeah.
Speak into the microphone.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking over the club. We're delighted that we're all here. Okay. Mine's just about infrastructure, really. Tuesdays, Saturdays, biblical rain over on the open side, the popular side, and it's been uncovered since the old ground got knocked down. Now I know in the scheme of things with the investment, the playing is the priority, but somewhere along the line, people don't come on Tuesday nights necessarily. They don't want to stand behind the goal. They're used to watching on the side. It's absolutely, it's tough out there some Tuesdays and Saturdays with the rain driving and things like that. So some kind of like rudimentary cover over on the far side would be my choice anyway. Thank you.
Fantastic point. One of the things I am going to do is watch a match from all parts of the ground. I might not go to there, but I will watch it. So I'll watch it. My youngest is 15, and we'll watch a match from the car game, and we'll watch a match from it so I can understand what it's actually like. We've already spoke about it, and we are commissioning experienced people with experience of ground development to come in and talk to us. I don't want to give the impression that we're just going to build a new ground, because we're not. What we are going to do is do what we can, and I think it's rudimentary, groups, things. We're absolutely going to look at it. We're absolutely going to, and we have, I'm going to use the word again, aspirations to do it, because I don't want in 2023 people, I've been here on a wet Tuesday night, and I've looked over there and I've seen them all disappearing into different parts of it to try and get them to cover, and we should aspire to do better. We will aspire to do better. When we get some drawings and some thoughts, first thing we'll do is share it with you guys. Because this is your club, it is your ground, it is where many of you, when I met the volunteers, and can I just say, many of them are here tonight, what a group of volunteers you have here at Southport. So passionate, and I went in to see them. I said, my first game here was 1961. Stan Mortensen was the manager. What? It's astonishing what they bring to the club, and that's part of the reason we're here. We saw that, we felt it, You know, Colette has over 100 volunteers every week in our shops and our food clubs and things like that. And it's, you know, volunteering can change people's lives. This is about love. It's about love. The volunteers love the club. And I'm blown away by the passion of that love. See what I did? That was really lyrical, that wasn't it? You think I've done it. But it really is. The passion, it's like love. And it's engaging and it's exciting. And I think what we've got to do is understand. Got the message? It was already on our list. But when we get something, it's about learning what you guys think. And we're not going to get some of that 99.9% of people say, yeah, there'll be differences of opinion. We've all got to be ready, all of us, to deal with somebody actually disagreeing with us. That's fine. Not a problem. We have open conversation about it, and we see where we are. You know, we're not going to please all the people all the time. What we can do is try to please most people. And that's exactly what we'll do. So it is part of our plans that we'll come back to.
Thanks, Peter. Next question? Well, we've got an easy one. I've got told off for in front of the camera, so.
It's a question for Peter. It's very impressive, all that the Big Help Foundation does, and also the credentials of all the people on the panel there. Could you tell us a little bit about why, having been involved in housing associations and food banks and recycling paints and all the rest of it, the Big Help decided to get involved with the football club and Southport Football Club in particular?
So it wasn't planned. If I was going to say to you there was a big plan, it wasn't. So we have a contract from DEFRA, which is Department of Farming and Rural Affairs. DEFRA really liked our idea of how we do what we call community food partnership. They really liked the idea of how we use, we save food from going to landfill. This isn't food that's gone off or food that's we save food that would go to food waste. Food waste is one of the scandals of our country. It's an absolute scandal. And to give you an example, like Ricardo and Amazon and numerous other, Costco and places like that, we collect the food that, you know, would be going out, being dumped. We take it into our centres and they're used and people use the food. So DEFRA said, we love your idea, we really like your idea, we want you to do one in every part of the city region. We've done some stuff in Bootle, and we hadn't done some stuff in Southport. Now, we'd come, and by sponsoring the stadium, we were planting a flag, letting people know. And we'd agreed to buy a building in Wright Street in Southport by the station. And the building was going to cost a few bob. And then we were going to spend some money on the building, and that was going to be our headquarters in Southport. We'd actually found it and gone legal. And then Mike says to me, and Tammy said to me, first of all, Mike said to me, well, you know, Ian might sell the shares. So rather than buy the building, why don't you buy this building?
Question.
And Tammy said to me, hang on, if we don't buy that building, and we don't do that, actually, we'll save money. Because this place, Hague Avenue, can become our centre for Southport. So we don't buy the building in Wright Street. So that's exactly what we did. We didn't buy the building in Wright Street. We pulled out of that and we bought this instead, because we would have had to kind of created the community that was already sat here. We'd have had to create that community there, and we want to tap in to the community that is already here, which is already amazing, which is fantastic. So it's a pragmatic decision that has actually a business background behind it. So this wasn't me being, oh, isn't this lovely? This is a pragmatic decision. We've now got this ground, we've now got this fan base, we've now got, and we can bring our ideas of how community engagement in a unique way to Southport. So this is our headquarters, this is our, and I was going to buy somewhere anyway. So why not a football club? There's a few reasons why it should be a football club. Ask me in about 6 months' time, you know what I mean? But simply, you know, we genuinely fell in love with what we saw here, with the people, And we were going to do this anyway in the town centre. All we've done is redirected it to here, and the investment we were going to put in the town centre, but we're putting it. A football club is a different kettle of fish. But you know what? We're all football people. We all absolutely understand football. We all get it. And we're not coming in with ridiculous ideas and you know it's Premier League or bust. We're not saying that. Even though, what was the stats, Andy? Is it 8 years ago? 8 years ago, Luton were playing Southport. That's said. Andy's actually he's got a video, haven't you, of you scoring it?
Twice.
So there you go, he's got a video of him scoring it. So isn't that amazing? It's astonishing. 8 years ago, they were playing Southport. And they played Liverpool on Saturday. Wow.
We've got 10,000 a week watching them, haven't they?
No, and we got 10,000 a week. Well, they didn't when they were down in out of the league. So it's about absolutely in the back of our heads. We've all got this. How far can we go? I don't know. We start with where we start. We're here. So it's absolutely about going forward, and that's what we're all aiming to do. So does that answer your question?
Thank you, Peter. Can you just bring that one up again, Joe? Just a football one for Jim here. This is one of the online ones just for now, if we can. As we want to build a winning squad, what's the policy on either selling or keeping our best players?
I've lost my voice. It's
not like you, Jim.
I don't think I've ever gone 45 minutes without speaking. So, I wasn't going to get away with me, not that I'd asked anything, but there you go. Yeah, so obviously any football club, you've got to protect yourself. You know, we've got some decent players in the club. Moving forward, the club, say, in the past, the club Liam's done fantastically well from the outside looking in. You know, Southport were always selling a player here and there. You know, that was the model, that's what they had to do to survive. That doesn't mean to say, you know, there's got to be a balance. We want to protect our best players because ultimately they're the ones that will give us the better chance of winning games on a Saturday or a Tuesday, which ultimately gets us up the league and hopefully fulfills the plan that we have in place. But the flip side of that, sometimes you've got to let players go. I've done it myself. There was a few at Morecambe that, you know, we had, and it was unjust of us to stand in their way at that moment when you can go from a League Two club. We used, say, Tom Barkhuizen as an example, and he was, you know, from Blackpool. He can go and play for Preston, North End in the Championship. You know, that became a time where we had to, you know, let him fulfil his dreams, and we try and get as much money as we could for the player. It was obviously at the time we had loads of ownership problems, so they stole them from us. In my opinion, it should have been a lot more money than what we got, but that's a different story. But whatever comes back, it's how you reinvest it to continue your progress as a team to become, you know, better. You see it at every level. I think that's a big thing of what you do, but, you know, we'll continuously try and bring decent players in. We'll continue to assess what we've got and tie up the better ones that we have. And we'll continue to have conversations around what's right for the football club. Ultimately, always right for the football club. But that's got to be taken into consideration, what's right for the player as well. So that's all we can do as a board, as a football management side of things, is try our best to do what's right, as I say, for the football club moving forward, to try and progress and improve and get better and better.
Thanks, Jim. Right, we have got plenty coming in online, but we'll do a few more in-house first. Robert?
Yeah. All right. Have you got any plans to do a 3-day training session? Three day a week? Is that possible?
Again, that's in the you know, in the vision now of the board. whether we go, as it's called, hybrid, whether we go full-time. There's a lot of things they can take into consideration. You know, I moved to Telford United when they were part-time and went full-time, and you still have part-time lads coming in and training, you know, 1 day a week, etc. So there's a big transitional period. I went to Morecambe when he went from part-time to full-time. It is a big, you know, there's a lot of things surrounding it, you know, but I believe at this level, you look over the last couple of years, it's usually been the full-time clubs, the likes of Fylde, the Kidderminsters, the Gatesheads that have moved up in the full-time outfits. I like to say, if you look at Altrincham, I think Altrincham have done it really well. You know, they've gone via the playoffs over the COVID years. They stabilised themselves in the conference and they've had investment. You know, they've got better on the pitch, they've got better off the pitch, the attendances have gone up, they took that decision to go full-time, it's been a smooth transition, and now they're at the top end of the National League of Aspiration to get an aspiration. There you go, Peter.
We'll all be going on with aspirations.
And so they are a good one to look at, but I've got me, you know, your hybrid as they call it. I think it can have its flaws and against. Obviously, to get better, you want to ultimately be a full-time football club. But like Peter said, that's that's in the background. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's what we aspire to do. So to get better, I feel that you need to become a full-time football club and give yourself the best chance of getting those promotions that we all strive.
Thanks, Jim. John, you had your hand up, I think.
Yeah, one for Jim and one for Peter. Peter, perhaps first. You touched on it before about having a cash gate. One of the problems you were talking about was people sort of, I think we've got out to Southall today, they can't get in because they can't be bothered going on a computer to get a ticket. Now, I worked in the taxi trade for over 20 years. Met a lot of people in that, and they used to say, "Do you not watch football?" I said, "Yes, I always go to Wigan on Saturday afternoon, so I don't work Saturdays." "Oh yeah, I used to go there, but the problem is the standard of refereeing, which is the point I'm going to come to Jim with." The point I want to make, Peter, is that a lot of people would say, "Oh, well, I'm an Everton supporter," but when they're not at home, I used to go to Southall. I don't go anymore because the referees are shocking. Now, I think that it is a drive on what's happening, and I do appreciate the fact that we're opening the cash gate again. And that was the point I was going to make to Jim. I started refereeing, Jim, over 40 years ago.
There we go, there's the submission.
No, it's not solution. I started refereeing over 40 years ago, and I just wonder if you think the same as I do. The standard, it's only left in local league refereeing, you know, in a local league here. The standard of refereeing over the last 40 years has just gone down and down and down. When you look at the Premier League, we're crying out loud, they've got VAR, and they still don't know what to do. It's shocking. What is your view now on the standard of refereeing? I know you got sent off the other week, sat right there. So what happened? But I'll tell you what, I mean, kicking the ball away, crikey. It's not a red card offence, it never was.
What in your heyday as a referee, should we say, would have you sent me off for that incident?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have sent United's player off the other night. I learned two things. I was telling Steve before. There were two things that an ex-referee who coached us to our referee's exam said to me. One thing is, if you don't see it, you can't give it. And the second thing is, if it's not intentional, don't get your cards out. And I live by that. And I thought that was very good.
Just on the, I mean, I wish Jim could solve refereeing problems because, you know, I think you do very, very well with bringing the solutions to that. The cash gate thing was a no-brainer, but we talked about football away recently. Do you know what? Many of us, me included, in my case, go to Anfield. It was a rite of passage. You'd go down with your mates, you'd go in, you'd pay on the gate, going. What we need to do is encourage people to say, do you know what, it's 2:30, it's Saturday, daughter playing at home, shall I take my lad and my daughter, whatever, let's go down to the game. And I wanted to encourage that. And you know, I almost don't care if only 2 people turn up. I want to have the principle, I want to get the message out that, you know, we've got something a bit different. There's a phrase, grassroots football, which is a bit of a cliche again, but we've got something different. And, you know, sort of football the way it used to be, you know, we want to encourage people to come and enjoy football the way it used to be, true grassroots football. You can't get to Anfield or Goodison, never mind, you know, Old Trafford, there might be seats in the Etihad, I don't know, but you can't get there. So we want to give them, so we need to do 2 things. We need to give them some attractive football, we need to give them some winning football. We also need to break down the barriers to people coming. I understand about the reasons why it was done, but you know what? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you all mentioned to a mate or a neighbour and say, just come down. Oh, I can't be bothered. Because that's a barrier to some people. We now, through our day jobs, barriers to people accessing services or go online. That doesn't work for some people. Never work for some people. You have to break down the barriers. Wouldn't it be great if we see a queue of people at the cash gate? Wouldn't that be amazing? And we'll worry about any infrastructure problems or anything, because we want to encourage people to come down. So the message needs to go out. You want to watch a game of football, support one of your local team, come down, pay on the gate, and join us on a great deal of fun watching Southport.
So, can I go back to the question about referees, or? Yeah, well, I've got to be careful what I say about it. In my opinion, I totally agree with you. I think the big word for me with referees now is common sense. I think, you know, I look at the, again, I know it's online, I hope he's not watching this. The referee we had on Tuesday night was the same referee we had, you know, for the Tamworth game. There was a sending off, there was my sending off. There was probably about 9 bookings. He left us again on Tuesday night. There was another 9 bookings. You know, there was 3 penalties and all 3 of them were dubious. You know, so you're like, and it's the manner of them, the ego. You know, I just think the common sense has gone. It's the manner. I've said this to the ref, so I'm sure he appreciates it. And I've had the letter back to say, you know, how I conducted myself after the game in his dressing room, and I had to like choose my words carefully. But it's the way he ran over and got in my face with the red card. I'd rather him just come over and have a quiet way and go, listen, it's the rule. I'm sorry, but you'll have to go. Hold his red card. It's the way the sprinter didn't stand in front of you with a red card. He wouldn't do it to him in the street. So again, I've got to be careful. I just think that even now, you know, in the bookings, you get 5 bookings by the end of November. You know, the season starts, it's that hectic. You get 5 bookings. Some people pride themselves on not being suspended. You get booked for farming in this day and age, don't you? So, I mean, with the bookings, I'm trying to tighten it up, and yeah, we've spoken about this myself and Andy, about, you know, looking at how the lads are getting booked, and some have been harsh and some have got to learn that the rule is if you kick the ball away. We know that now, so you just don't do it, even if it's 3 yards. But I look at it well at football's an entertainment business, and it's an enjoyment. You look at the people who travelled down to Rushall last week in terrible weather. Most of the fans I spoke to have been to Birmingham first, and you know, got on the air somewhere down the day before, etc. You know, made a good noise and a good account of themselves. But Niall scores the winner with 5 minutes to go in front of our fans in the pissing down rain, and he doesn't jump over the barrier into the crowd. He goes and celebrates with the fans. And then you look at the referee waiting there at the post when he walks away to give him a yellow card. He's enjoying scoring the winner with 5 minutes to go on a terrible day. You know, and then he's suspended tomorrow now because he's got his 5th booking. So I look at the Luton game, and the lad who scores against Liverpool does exactly the same, and nothing said. You know, so what did he want us to do? Stand at the line and not enjoy ourselves? We all love winning games of football. As I say, above all else, it's an entertainment. There's got to be common sense. If Niall does a pole vault or a triple somersault into the away end, you'd expect him to be booked. But the way he did it, it was just in an enjoyment way, and there was no common sense. So that's the biggest thing, is the common sense is gone, and it's just killing the game. I've been forever talking around now. Someone told me the other day, I don't know whether it's true, there was 95% of decisions right at Premier League level before VAR come, and there's now 97, so for the sake of 2%, you're still, like you said, not getting 100%. I know that the rewards are massive at Premier League level, etc. But a lot of it for me comes down to common sense, and there's just everything's to the rule now. And certainly the referee that we had on Tuesday, the one who done me at Sandwave, you know, the same referee. It's just, and I've said this to him, it's just everything to the rule, no common sense at all. So that's the thing that pains my head the most about referees. So there you go.
Just going to take one more question from the floor, and then a quick 5-minute break just for everyone to replenish the glasses. And so we'll take one more. Chris, do you want to use the microphone, please?
You were on about the cash on the day. Yeah. Are you going to drop this bloody thing about having to pay more?
Steve?
Oh, Steve, if you want to answer that one, go on.
I'll take that with pleasure. Chris, the other way of looking at it, which is what most other clubs that are allowed to do, is you're actually benefiting from a discount when you purchase before the day of the game. So we did look at long and hard at this at the start of the season. We benchmarked our prices against most other clubs in the league. We thought we were there. We're certainly not the most expensive. We're not the cheapest. We are somewhere in the middle, which is where we're happy to be. But the other thing that we also introduced in the summer, which I think a lot of people in the room will agree it's turned out to be a big success, is the 5 and 10 mark flexi tickets, which if you do know that you're able to come to a game but you can't decide until the morning for whatever reason, you may be working, you may have family commitments, but you know that you're going to take 5 games in a season, then you can redeem that and not be paying the higher price.
What I'm saying is, to people coming down, Sue's relatives lives in Wales, they come down, how much? Oh, well, I'm not going there. It's not encouraging people to come into the gates when it's extra.
Yeah, Chris, we'll take that on board. You know, it's the first season we've introduced it. We thought it was, as I said, in line with the rest of the league. But trust me, we are very keen to encourage more people.
It's something that we have discussed since the takeover. I think it's really, really difficult to make mid-season changes because people have taken advantage of discount schemes, and you know, you make a change in the mid-season and say, well, hang on a second, I bought this because I'm the so you know, when I said before, you can't please all the people all the time. I think, as Steve's just said, we are going to take this under review. I think you can see, it's clear, I want to encourage people. There's a balance between offering people a discount and punishing people for not buying a ticket in advance. I agree with you. But what we've also got to do is do it on a sensible, fair and equitable level. What I will promise you is we will review it at the end of the season.
Thanks, Peter. Okay. Thanks, Chris. Right, as I say, quick break. I don't know if you've noticed up there, but the lads have brought some fantastic cakes up there and sandwiches all over the place. So just on 5 minutes on break, we can finish your glasses, have a comfort break, and we'll be back.
me to be the sporting director of the football club. So, Tammy, would you like to give us a few minutes? Sorry, someone just asked about Tammy's role, the sporting director, so we'll just cover that, Tammy, for a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Tammy Burgess. I used to be a former professional footballer that alluded to before. I've also previously in my past been an agent for the FA, so I've done playing negotiation and stuff like that. More in the women's game, more than in the men's game. As sporting director for Southport Football Club, I'll be working with Jim and Andy to try and create a DNA and a profile of what players we want to bring to the club. The idea behind this is not just to just get them in and sell them on and make money, because obviously that makes the club tick. But we also want to retain them, and we want to make sure that we're getting players that are going to improve the playing squad, also complement what we've already got, because we've got really good players out there, and sometimes we just need another player or two to support them. Moving forward with what we're trying to do here, it is a bit controversial and it's a woman who's doing it, but I believe that if I can take Southport Football Club with Jim and Andy and all aboard to the next level, I've done a job. And then if there's need, if we go full time, that we have to look out here to get someone to come in place who will support it to grow again, then I've done my job. So for sport director right now, it's just a role that we need to introduce. It's also supporting the board in terms of the financial and helping Jim and Andy to understand the short, the medium and long term of how financially we're going to be sustainable in the long term.
I'm sorry, working with your husband, a good idea? Not sure. Recipe for disaster, I believe. So.
It's a good start putting me in between them, though, isn't it?
I know, yeah. We didn't notice that, Jim. Right, I'm going to bring in one of the young lads who's just approached me. This is one of the ones that goes to a lot of our home and away games, so.
Yeah. I'm not really sure which one to ask, but is there going to be a change in making an adult club with the kids every game? Because it really does affect like the big games like Chorley and that, about the younger people coming, because there's no adults to take them.
I'll take that question. So again, it comes back to the earlier question about, you know, paying a bit more and trying to encourage people. What I would say is I understand how many years is it since we've had an increase in ticket prices? 12 years of fees and ticket prices. So I think that's pretty good. Something to be proud about. Do you know what? I absolutely agree. I think there's a phrase called rites of passage, and people going to the ground, going with your mates, coming along, it's a rites of passage. We have to temper that, because all of you will know there were some issues last season, and we have to be, you know, recognise that. I think what we're looking at is to see how we can manage that balance. But my answer to you really, really clearly, and Steve knows this, we've had the conversation, is I want to encourage people to come to our ground. I want to encourage young people to come to our ground, but I want to say absolutely clearly, come to our ground, enjoy watching sport, and behave themselves. And we need to do all of those things. So we're absolutely, we're looking at that, and it's something we're very much looking at. Literally, you know, we've been talking about it this week. We're going to keep looking at it. We're going to look to put what we can put in. And I'd love to have a situation where we say, you know, under 16s to come in and do it. Tammy and Colette's going to work and lead and working. We're bringing a sponsor who's going to sponsor 100 tickets every single game. We're going to give those tickets away via the schools, and we're going to look to bring modern marketing techniques. We want young people to come to our games. We want to encourage them. We want to get, you know, young sandrounders signed up in the schools. We want to be able to send every of those kids when they're 10 or 11, we want to send them a Southport shirt and 2 free tickets on their birthday. Because we want them to be coming here, not struggling or struggling to get to Liverpool to watch Liverpool or Everton. We want them to come in, and we need to attract them, and attracting them while the young is really, really important. Do you know what the most important thing was attracting them? Actually playing some good football and winning some matches. Well, that's a really good question, and I promise you we're looking at it.
Thank you. That covers a few points online as well.
Hi, my question is a bit more about match day infrastructure. So obviously everyone comes to a non-league game and wants to enjoy pints in the stands. But you come to a game, there's an empty bar down by the away end, and home fans are queuing for 20 minutes to get a pint. And at one point there was a bottle bar open for about 2 games, but is there anything that can be done or will be done about that? Because no one wants to stand queue for 20 minutes for a pint in the rain.
Simon?
Thanks for your question. I'll take that if you want. From a hospitality point of view, part of my role within the club is going to be looking at everything we do hospitality-wise. It's not to say that we're going to change everything, but Steve Jewslips informed me that we have a system to the ready waiting that's available for pre-ordering half-time drinks, for example. And one of the things we want to look at is the use of the fan zone as a potential sort of bar as well, which will support the home end. Okay? Does that answer it, or?
Yeah, it doesn't really. When you're in the popular side, you've got to walk miles to get to them bars, so you can have a big queue anyway. We want one, we used to have one in the corner a couple of years ago, which was, it's only a small thing, but it wasn't utilised very well. We've got something like that over there, where that water cabin is, where we can go. We don't have to queue for miles, we have to walk halfway around the ground to get a pint.
Okay, but these are things.
About non-league, you can come to the ground, watch a game of football, it's not silver skill, but we have good camaraderie with all our fans, enjoy a few pints, and
That's exactly what we want to encourage.
Looking over the far side, there's an empty bar there, we're queuing for 20 minutes, after that.
And with respect, obviously, our knowledge of this stadium and what supporters want is quite new. And as Peter said earlier, that's why we will talk to the fans on occasions like this, and we'll also talk to Steve Jewslips and other members of the board and staff and volunteers who've been here for longer to understand what the needs are in respect of opportunities like that to support what you need.
Simon, if I can just add to that as well, it's a great question, something that we've been really wanting to resolve for a long time. For various reasons, we've not had the infrastructure, we've not had the staff in place. We are now putting everything we can at it to change that. The drinks ordering app that Simon talked about has been ready to be rolled out for some time. We just need some stations around the ground. The far corner, halfway down the Poplar side is another idea. A couple more outlets in this corner down here is exactly what we want to do. So please bear with us, we'll get there.
Thanks, Steve. Simon?
Hello. One of the biggest assets in the club is the pitch, and it's only used 15% of the time. Are there plans to convert it to an artificial pitch? I've got another question. This is for Jim. You talked about data. What can we expect tomorrow against South Shields with respect to analysing the data?
Okay, I'll take the question about the pitch. Football's played on grass.
South Shields, I'm not going to get, obviously, talking about data and things like that. I'll look over the opposition, I'll study them, your eyes tell you the story, what you need to know. The good side, again, ambitious club who's been took over, invested, got promoted, gone full-time, quite an experienced squad. I think they're the 5th most experienced squad in the division. Very, very good at home, not so good away. So I think the home record is 1-8, drew 1 out of 9, scored 17 goals and conceded 1. So they're a force at home, but hopefully we can get them on a bad day away from home. So again, the good side, we'll do our due diligence, we'll look at the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition like we always do. We can see where we can hurt them, we can see where they're likely to hurt us. They've got some good players, a lot of players that have played at the National League level and into the Football League level. The likes of Blair Adams, Gary Little, Blackett up the top, who's got he's the top scorer. So they're the good side. They're going to pose a threat. It'll be a big game for us, but it'll be a difficult game as well. But I'm sure, like you always say, their manager, when he's doing his preparation today, because he will have been in today, being a full-time outfit, they'll be saying we're going into a difficult game, playing a team who's scoring goals, a team that are capable, a team that's got individuals that can cause problems. So got the makings of a good game, and hopefully we come out on top come 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
Thanks, Jim. Plenty more.
Can we get back to the situation where we took a coachload of supporters to virtually every away game? We've slipped. You know, we might need a bit of subsidy from the club to get that off the ground again. Can we, you know, what's the idea about that?
Again, we met with the volunteers a week or so ago, and that was raised at that game, at that meeting. So the answer is yeah, will we subsidise travel? Yeah. What we want to do is do a pilot, try and understand how many fans want to go, try and understand what we, you know, what the demand is going to be. But absolutely, of course, we want to do it. The fans the other night were astonishing in the Midlands, and you know, for those of us who've been to away games all our lives, there's a special feeling, camaraderie, and so absolutely we want to do it. What we'll do is, from collecting, we'll do a piece of, you know, work asking the fans, work with Rob to get you know, questions out there and understand what sort of numbers that we'll talk about. And maybe we'll do a pilot and with a couple of coaches if there's a demand for it, and we'll see how we can subsidise it. So listen, we'll take it on. It was mentioned to me before. It's a good question. We want to do it. We want to encourage people to go to every match. So absolutely. So watch this space.
Thanks, Peter. I think the person that ran the coaches a couple of seasons ago might have a few words to say why it stopped, but we'll stay away from that for now. He wants to ask you a question though, Dan.
It was really about that, really. Encouraging people to go to away games is massive. Like, it's alright for me on the train, but like taking 7 hours to get back from Newcastle the other night was like, yeah. How do we encourage people to go to the away games? Because I mean, in my opinion anyway, I prefer the away games because just like new experiences, new grounds, and it's more of a laugh. And I can't remember most of them, but I don't know why that is. I'm not too sure why that is. But how do we? I mean, I look around this room now. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I mean, I go to the away games and a few people around me. But how do we encourage everyone to go to home and away games?
I think, you know, I've used this phrase a couple of times, football the way it used to be, but you know what? A lot of people used to go to away games. A lot of South, there'll be people all around this room who'll be nodding their heads many a time. Football's in our DNA, and it doesn't change if we're playing away. You know, we're always interested, we're always checking the score, we're always, you know, so I think we need to understand what the demand is, because I don't know what the demand is. Is it a minibus? Is it a coach? Is it 4 coaches? I have no idea. Let's find out what the demand is. Let's do a pilot. Let's go to a match. Let's, please God, everyone behave himself, because that was an issue, and we all know that was an issue. And we'll look at it. So listen, this is absolutely the core values. This is way grassroots football. It is about passion. It is about commitment. Jim was talking about getting sent off for kicking the ball away. Bloody hell. You know, football is a game about passion, about being carried along with the joy or the despair, you know what I mean? And equal quarters, it depends. And you've got to be part of it and celebrating with the fans after scoring a winner a couple of minutes from time. Do you know what, the game at home where we won with the last minute, and it was really funny. Where's Hamish? Hamish, you were putting the board up with the minutes,
You were actually there when Harry scored the goal. And I saw you dancing. It's
on film.
It's funny as anything. And he's holding it, and he's like this. But that's what it's all about. Hamish, that's exactly what it's all about. And if you stop that, if you try and subdue that, if you try and hold it down, well, that's not going to help anyone. You know, we're here because we love football, and we should celebrate wins. We should be miserable when we get beat. That's normal, it's human emotions. So I think it's about finding the balance. I absolutely want to encourage that. We will do something this season to do a trial, and let's see how it goes. But how many people want to go? And how many people get arrested? I don't think me.
That'll be you, Peter. Okay.
Right, I'll just stand up because you won't see me otherwise, will you? I just want to say thank you very much, Peter, for taking on the reins and hopefully pushing the club forward. For me personally, I think it's a fantastic way you have come over. You've presented everything extremely well, but the greatest thing is you haven't said you're going to change things overnight. And that is what it's all about. People that come in, as we've seen it all other clubs, they're going to put a load of money in and then next week we've gone bust. You obviously want to take the club forward. My hope is the fact that what's something you will do very, very quickly is to make sure this chap, Jim Bentley, stays with us.
Well said.
Cheers for that, Dan.
I've certainly done his interviews anyway. Neil.
A question for Jim. I haven't championed you yet because there's nothing to look forward to at the moment, apart from when you came in. Now, on the player recruitment, over the years, we seem to get players on the Northwest region. It's because we were part down. It was travelling the land. What is you, even though the chairman said about going full time, but we are part time at the moment. So, what is your players recruitment? If you see a better player outside of the Northwest, regardless of the training and facilities, is it going to be a problem of accommodating these players? Tell me you answer. Don't be fighting the media. I'm not fighting me. Where's your shit on match day? I'm going to keep the house. I'll be beating with you, alright? Just you lay off me, alright? You'll get that. Like, with regards to recruitment, yeah, obviously, when you're a part-time club, you've got to appreciate the players are working. They don't want to be travelling hours and hours after work to get to training to travel hours and hours back. It's just obviously common sense. But I think, you know, we've now got a situation where, you know, the organisation own accommodations, hotels, etc. So if we use Richie Bennett for an example, we're quite fortunate in Richie that he's at a full-time club in Scunthorpe, no day job, and we now have the option of housing him in a hotel if he wants to come down, like he has done tonight, to come down and stay over the day before the game. So it gives us a little bit more leeway and we can spread our net a little bit further. But again, you've got to appreciate Richie, if he worked at a day job, it would be very, very difficult to travel, to do his job, to travel all the time. He's got to travel from where he comes from. All that, it all plays a part. So we've got to make sure that as a group, we've got to do our due diligence. We've got to see who works, who doesn't work, where they work, can they get transferred, do they want to get a different job, do they don't want to work at all and just play football. So they're all part of the process that we'll look at when we're identifying players to come in and sign and prove us.
Because when we had players from the old days, I'm not telling you how old I am. When you had players from the old days, and when John Sheard was chairman, come on! How old were you? We need to have players, I don't know where they come from or where they're there, but they need to put players into lodgings within the club. So we need to have players in lodgings, so even supporters could be even put up players.
So, with the structure of Big Help Group, we own, as Peter said, 4,000 properties. There's opportunities for relocation of people. We've also got opportunities within different departments of our organisation to give them jobs as well. So that gives them a different scope of what a full-time player would be playing football all the time. But if someone wanted to move down this end, we can support them in employment and also put them up in digs. So that opportunity is there.
Thanks, Tommy. Okay, John?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot the chairman's name of it.
Pizza.
So
good looking one.
When you
too much laughter there, I'm going to say.
When you first came in, you came in as a sponsor when Ian Carr was still here. Was it Ian's wishing he brought you in at that point in time to sell the club to you, or was it just for funds at that point? The second question, I believe that you were very much responsible for the friendly with the Isle of Man. Over there. Is that something that the club intends to do for the next season? And the last question, the third part is more addressed at Jim actually. When Rob did the interview, very early on when Jim came in here, he made no secret of the fact that he would ultimately like to manage at League 2 level. And does Jim now, looking at it going forward, see that more possible at Southport, or is he still looking at the possibility? Because he has been speculating on Port Chat, particularly after the 6th game will be from North. There was speculation that people will be going into swoon for Jim.
First of all, the first question, look, I didn't know Ian, right? Knew Ian. We came in just to try and support Southport because it matched our business model for what we wanted to do, and it was really a series of conversations. And do you know what? While I take this opportunity of mentioning Ian, I want to thank Ian and Claire for the amazing hard work. The negotiations, if that's right, we're very friendly, we're very positive, and we just wanted to try and get it over the line as quickly as we could. What was the second part of the question? The Isle of Man. So we wanted, the Isle of Man was a terrific event. I know some of the lads who went over did hunt us the lads down in the bar, and I said we'd buy a drink for them. We are going to make proper plans in January. We are looking at a couple of options. One of them is Ireland, so Derry, over that part. There's also an option. We have business partners in Gibraltar. Okay, that's interesting.
Do you know anyone in Dubai?
Funny you should say that. And so we will look at options, and we'll absolutely do, and we'll try and do a two-match tour this time, a couple of nights into it. And we said we'll look at it. Obviously, I need to be led by the football side of where they want to do the tour, and when the tour is, but absolutely, we will be going on tour. And remember, what happens on tour stays on tour.
Thanks, Peter. How to win friends, eh?
And the question is, the answer is, of course, Jim wants to manage at the highest level he possibly can. I would expect Jim to have that aspiration. And when every player we have to aspire to play at the highest level he can for Southport.
Yeah. like Peter said, you've got aspirations. There you go again. Ambitions. But I've got to be honest, when I come to this club, and I've said this on one of my interviews, oh God, don't say that, but I get a similar feel to this club that I did when I went to Morecambe. Like I said, I shouldn't have said that. But similar type of, fan base, not massive, but, proper backing, and really behind the team now, the town's team. And, I've been in the game, 31 years. I've managed, obviously, for the last 13, something, whatever it is. But there's a lot of tick boxes here. I enjoy it. I get a good feel for it. I enjoy working with Andy, I enjoy working with the staff. I get on really well with Liam. Liam rang me, about the job. I took it on after the conversation with Ian and Liam to the end of the season. I'm really enjoying it, as I say. The location is great. It's nice to be local for once and not in Manchester or 69 mile up the road at Morecambe or whatever. But yeah, so I'm sure I've spoken with Peter already around the future and obviously all this ambition and things like that. It's really exciting and I'd love to be part of it. Thanks,
Sorry, what's the...
This way, it's my fault. Obviously I've been playing for a long time, I want to lose my out. But I've been coming for a long time. When I turned 18, the big problem I had, which the youngsters at the bar now, Preston, has been coming for a long time, his dad's running. He will face this problem. Jumping from the junior season ticket to the adult season ticket, I was sort of lucky because I've worked, I had a job as soon as I turned 18, I could afford to go straight into it. The membership deal's great, you can pay monthly, helps a lot of people out. I do it myself because it's just easier. But there's nothing in between being a young kid at 17 to being a young adult between 18 to 24. You could be a student and might get the student ticket, but you might not go to uni, you might just be a young adult. And as soon as you get to that point of life, not every 18 to 25-year-old will have, for this season what it is, 240 quid to go, there you go. Or a parent that might go, well, I can give you £26 every month to pay for it. So there should be something for me, because I've been trying to get it since I was 18 now. And people might say, oh, it's just for my benefit for next season. But it won't even affect me next year, because I'm up that age range. So I'd like to see you encourage the youngsters at the bar now, when they do get to 18, they've got a choice to go. You don't have to fork out 240. We've got an in-between, like you get looked after as a young adult, that might not be worth and all that uni. That's all I'd like to see, really.
Yeah, Joe, I'll take that one. You probably gathered from what I said before, there's a huge amount of thought and research goes into the tickets and the season tickets prices every year. Let me assure you, we'll take that on board and feed it into next year's process for sure.
Okay. Any more? Go, hold on.
Hello. This relates back to what the other lad said about serving alcohol outside. Is there any plans for the bar in here to be open on match days more regularly? Because there's a lot of times that you come to, especially I suppose for away fans who travel and then you can't get in here because there's functions on a match day. Is there any plans for it to be open on a match day before and after? Because, like after the match, you want to celebrate a win and analyse the loss, and this is the community that want to do it. I just wonder if there was any plans for that.
Steve, is that or Simon?
Thank you. Yeah, it bemuses me slightly. I mean, I've been to several matches here myself over the last sort of 12, 18 months. I understood it was open pre-match.
Cheers.
Right, can I speak?
Of course you can.
You've got to use the microphone.
No, obviously for people involved in the club over the years, it was never a problem. When we had events after the game, supporters could come into the club afterwards with the full knowledge that at 6 o'clock the bar would close because hospitality would have been finished and they could go next door if they wanted to. But this is all changed because all the furniture has to be rearranged. People can hire half a room, the full room. And if they put a function on and they want round tables, we have to manoeuvre all the tables to put them in situ. We can't do that in the space of half an hour. That's why the bar is closed when there's a function on.
Thanks, Naz. I think it's a bit of a balance between, having that opportunity for fans to celebrate a win, for example, in the bar in their club, but also the revenue opportunities that this lounge offers for private events. That's the balance between, bringing revenue in from fans and supporters, and obviously from, private events which help maintain this facility. But yeah, again, it's something we can look at. There might be other, locations within the ground that might be possible, but we will take that on board. Thank you.
Will that bring you back to happy hour?
You'll find that I'm not a happy man, so. Brilliant line. No, again,
I can fully endorse Simon's comments there.
I've spoken to Claire as part of the sort of handover about happy hour. I've spoken to Maz about it. Again, we're very new here. Let us try and understand it over the coming weeks before we make any sort of rash decisions. We're not going to commit to things like that here this evening, but we need to look into things. Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Simon. We have got a little bit of time to go, so Joe's just going to pick a couple up that have come in online and with fantastic response online, so thanks for everybody that's watching. We're probably not going to get through them all, but I'll speak to Steve and we'll try and get something out from the club as general responses to some of the questions if we don't get through them all. But Joe, a couple to pick up.
So the first one's a question for Peter, saying both Morecambe and Marina get in phenomenal gates for the relevant size of the clubs. Are there any plans to reach out to either of these to ascertain how they have done this?
We want to learn from other clubs, from successes. We can't be arrogant enough to pretend that we've got all the answers. So absolutely we'll be talking. We've got contact. Listen, we want to build relationships with all the local non-league clubs. But let's not forget, Southport is the leading non-league club in the Liverpool City region. It is us we need to give leadership to, and watch this space. We will be getting involved with other clubs and see if one of our targets is target 2,000. We want to get to an average gate of 2,000 people. We believe that's really, really possible with some success on the ground and working hard. So we will absolutely talk to other clubs. We'll learn from other clubs. We'll also lead the way.
And then the next one against Peter is, can the club liaise with tourist information and local businesses and the council where the club can be promoted as part of a tourism package to bring in extra income for the club?
Mike?
The one thing that we're definitely going to bring is all the different type of associations and partnerships that we can do. I've been working with Second Council now in a variety of different ways for 40 years. And that's the truth. So great contacts and some awful decision-making processes too along the way, as some of you probably know.
Can you get a bit closer to the mic?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yes, so basically working with Second Council and many other partnerships, we're going to work really, really strongly with them. We've already reached out with 7 of them already. The way that Second Council can help us in relation to planning and permission, tourism side, I see the person who heads the tourism side of us already. So yes, we will be working very strongly with them and many other partnerships.
And then, where is the next one? Oh yeah, to Jim, sorry. asking about the type of players you're looking to bring in, and can you give us any names? We will take Lee Trundle for a loan.
Lee Trundle, is he still playing?
He was half a player in his day.
We're always identifying players that, that's like myself and the, job with regards to looking at players to try and get better. So we're exploring all avenues, lower divisions, higher divisions, low moves, permanent moves. It's not always as easy as that when you're at the stage of the season that we're at. So I say there's been a lot of hard work going on, and when we get that opportunity to get someone that we feel will make us better, we will do. So, but there's no name certain.
And then there's another one to Jim again regarding the fact that quite a few of our players are on loan. Is there any looking to extend them or kind of make them permanent?
Again, I think we've got 4 on loan, 4 now, yeah. So, again, it's whether, they're here to gain experience, to get better, to get into their own first teams, whether they're getting released from their clubs and they need to have an opportunity to go out and try and put themselves in a shop window, whether they're a club where they're not getting game time, they need to go somewhere to get game time. So there's a lot to ponder, lots to take on board, but we'll just continue to monitor how they get on, how well they do. And if we can make them permanent, if they're doing well, we feel that they're going to make us better moving forward. Do that. If they're not, then they go with our best wishes and thanks, and then they go elsewhere. That's the nature of the game.
Yeah, and then we've got another one for more this side of the table. Someone said, from earlier in the last season, I witnessed some unsavoury scenes between home and away fans. Is there any kind of looking to make the club ensure they're still family friendly?
Steve, is it you?
Yeah, good question. It's no secret what we had to go through last season, and everything that the club did then and continues to do is designed to make this place a lot more welcoming and family friendly. We had to take, as most people know, the unfortunate decision about 12 months ago to change our stewarding and to beef up that part of the club. It's something we keep under constant review. But as Peter has said many times this evening, we want to welcome as many people to the ground as possible, and we want to make it a safe and secure environment. So we'd rather not have had to do what we had to do, but hopefully those issues are going to be put behind us. Yeah, I've heard that a few times, and it's something that we are monitoring all the time.
That's all from the issue.
Few minutes. Any final questions from the floor? Okay. Just a couple of minutes.
It's just about removing the barriers down the Poplar side so we can go down to the end and stand there, which is going close to the way from. For the last few games, there's been a barrier halfway down and you can't go any further. So are there any plans to remove it and beef up the gate at the other end or something?
Yeah, it's something that is driven by the ground safety officer, and I'm not convinced, like you, that he needs to be in that position every single game. So I will talk to the safety officer and see if there's any way we can push it further down that side of the ground. But what I would say is that if you're going to run a segregated ground, which we always have done here, then it's best practice to have at least a sterile zone. It's a question as to how large that is, depending on how many away fans and what the risk parameters are, but we'll certainly keep it under review.
Thanks, Ian. Got one more, I think.
I've heard the phrase tonight a number of times, we need to look into, we need to find out. How do you propose to do that? So have you got a business intelligence function to collect, analyse data and make informed decisions on that data?
So, yes, in a word, we come from a business background, and so we're looking at, we had a board meeting prior to this. One of our board members is putting together a 100-day plan, which will have targets, will have, absolutely will hold people to account for delivering them, and we need to,
you raised, I think it was you were talking about some of the stewards, and saying, and I've heard that elsewhere, and we've already discussed it. And, you know, we've been here 5 minutes. There are things that we can do quickly, and we will action. I think what I'm trying to do, what we are trying to do is bring good practice, business practice, infrastructure support, which we can bring, and learn from you guys, because I don't know, I don't have the answers. You know, Colette's going to do a wide piece of consultation with the fans, with you the fans, and we'll do it online, and encourage people as much as possible to get involved in. So we will have KPIs, we will look to target things.
Does that include like analysing the ticket sale data from Kai's and that sort of thing?
Absolutely, 100%. Steve has been limited to his infrastructure that he's had to be able to do that. We're going to put infrastructure in to support it. You know, the clubs for many years outsourced its accounts, outsourced its payroll and stuff like that. We've got our own accounts team, we've got our own payroll, we'll save the club money. So all those things we'll do. We're going to bring in a process of that back office changes and infrastructure. Front of house, which is what affects all of us, especially you guys, is going to be a rolling program. What can we deliver? What can we do? The things we've heard about ticket prices, about under 16s, about, you know, we want to look at all these things and we want to deliver things as quickly as we can. So this won't be, we're thinking about it and we'll talk about it, we'll let you know next summer. We are absolutely looking at it, and we'll look to do these as regularly as we can. And you know, Rob's looking at his watch, so do you want me to wind up?
No, you're right, 5 minutes.
Got
2 more questions.
So, is that all right? You know, I'm not going to be
collecting data, but I'm not sure you're actually collecting the data and using it.
I think we're collecting some data. I think Steve would I think you've got 10,000 people on a database, and we're not using the data in the right way. I think that's absolutely...
It's what I do for a living, that's what
I kind of thought you might have. I'm going to say, let's talk. But absolutely, we have to be better at it. We have to be more reactive, you know, to it. And, you know, we're committed to absolutely doing it. I will talk to you separately.
I'd like to have that conversation too, please.
We're just going to bring one more online, and then we've got one more here, so we'll do one here first.
Before I say what I'm going to say, I've got an idea, and the idea is, and I'm saying this is one of my mates played under Jim at a certain club. But I proposed an idea that every time Jim mentions from this point on, and in future interviews he mentions Morecambe, he has to pay £10 towards it.
What's happens to go along with that, yeah?
Democracy in action, Jim.
It's not really a question, it's more a statement. I had a conversation with somebody, a friend recently, and they asked me why I follow Southport, and my answer was that, you know, I get out of the house for a couple of hours, I've got 2 young boys, I've got, you know, 8 and 10, I see my mates, I have a pint, I have a laugh, I get a few brownie points for the missus because she gets a bit of peace on herself. But one thing I didn't say is the football. And you've obviously, Peter's mentioned it tonight about investing in the first team squad. But from my point of view, everything, the volunteers, I'm a massive fan of, everything that you've talked about in the presentation, everybody on the table's got a massive responsibility. But I didn't mention the football. And the absolute last reason I come here is for football, and personally I would like that to be, you know, one of the top 2 or 3 reasons. It's great playing attractive football, but again, I've got 2 young kids, and they're going to school and they're getting grief about wearing a Southport shirt because all the mates follow Premier League teams. And even if we play rubbish football, we've just got to win games. We've got to win games. And from a commercial perspective, I talked, you know, somebody mentioned earlier on about inviting their friends to come and the reasons that their friends don't come. The reason my friends don't come is because we lose half games, and that may be that. It might make me unpopular, but we're 17th in the 6th here. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, I think what's paramount, what's the tip of this pyramid, is winning games. We've got to be more successful, and that will cascade into everything else.
I've watched loads of losers, and I still
But it's not about the people that come every week. It's about the next generation. It's about the wider community that don't come because we are where we are.
Okay.
Can I just answer
Jim, do you want
can I just answer that? I don't think anyone wants to lose. That's a fact. And the players are not going out there to lose. They're trying quite hard to win the game. But what we have to do, and we are brand new to this, and it's like Peter uses the word, it's not like revolution, it's even we're going to slowly do a process. We need to make sure that we have the right infrastructure for the players to be the best player they can be, and that's what we're implementing. We've started to do that straight away with pre-match meals, you know, doing data analysis and stuff like that. We're also making sure that we get other players in, which Jim hasn't alluded to any players, but he's working really hard to get a few in to support what we've already got. I understand what you're saying, we all want to win, but we need to, I just don't think that anyone wants to lose, and they're trying. But, you know, with this infrastructure, hopefully, your children will go home to school, and hopefully it'll be everyone. I've got a young boy who's a Luton fan. He started at conference, and now he's going to school, and then he was, who do you support? Everton or Liverpool? Go support Luton. Now he's going in and I support Luton. We beat Everton the other week.
Thanks, Tommy. I'm just going to say one more online one. People will be still around after the session, so if anybody wants to talk to them individually, feel free for half an hour or so. Joe, we just got one person who's asked one a few times, so we'll cover that one.
Yeah, so someone's just touched on the volunteers and community, and they just wonder if there are plans to re-establish the links with the community and volunteers.
When you say re-establish the links with the volunteers, as Peter said, we were we knew there was a workforce of volunteers behind the scenes, and we came in to introduce ourselves the week before last, and we were really pleasantly surprised at how many volunteers that are very, very active week in, week out in Southport. But yes, as Peter said, community is at the heart of everything that we do. Obviously, the work that we do is based in the heart of many communities. So we want to bring that here to Southport. Now, I've also done a little bit of research, and there's a lot of stuff already going on with other organisations. So we'll be working with them and helping to promote the work that they do, and anything that they don't do, then we will be bringing it in-house. We're going to, as Peter said, we'll do some consultation, we'll work with the volunteers and the fans, and if there's anything that you used to do that you want to reintroduce, or something that you wanted to do and maybe it's not gone ahead, let us know. The Community Foundation obviously is going from strength to strength, and Tammy can talk a little bit about the Community Foundation if anyone's got any questions on that. But yeah, if there's anything that you want to introduce or you want us to get off the ground, then just let us know, and we'll, we're open to all ideas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claire.
Robert, if I can just add to that. I know one or two of the specific questions that have been online this evening about volunteers that used to work here. As Colette quite rightly just said, we want to re-establish all links. There was a specific reason or two why a couple of the volunteers that we no longer had roles for last year weren't able to continue for a short period, and also some of those volunteers that had certain needs, including supervision, the guy that was coordinating that team was no longer able to attend games this year. But I'd like to reach out to that body and basically we'd like to do all we can to re-establish those links, because there's so much more we can do in that area. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Steve. All right, we're bang on time, though. 2 minutes over, so thank you everybody for attention. Peter, do you want to say a final word?
Just to say thanks to everyone who's turned up tonight. Friday night, shall we go and listen to what the new board has to say. Look how many have come out, and I think was there 150 people online?
Yeah, max about 155, yeah.
Astonishing, and it never ceases to amaze me how passionate the Southport fans are. It's a real reason to be proud. Listen, we've not done this to be just scrambling around trying to avoid relegation, I can assure you. We're all realists, we absolutely understand we've got to perform on the pitch. To make your kids proud, to make your kids proud enough to say, I'm wearing this shirt because I support Southport. It's not like supporting Liverpool or supporting Everton or Man United. It's different. But you know what? I'm proud. You should be proud. This is the start. We don't have magic wands. I don't have answers to every question, because some of the questions I've heard tonight I wasn't aware of. Some of the things I've heard I wasn't aware of. What I promise you is we'll listen. I promise you, you'll see me at the match. Come and talk to me. I won't be hiding away or trying to. Come and talk to me. Something to say it to me. Not a problem. We'll have these regularly. But I want you to feel, we talked before about passion, being sent off, for kicking the ball away, you know. We've got to have passion. Football's about passion. It's about scoring the injury time winner. It's about Hamish dancing on the And you know what? That's why we come to football matches. That's why we absolutely love football. It's why young people, and that's such a challenge that we face, but I see it also as an opportunity. There's an opportunity there. Together we can grasp that opportunity. Together we can actually make that difference. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Thank everyone who's listened and asked questions online. We'll do this again soon. We're going to bring changes. We're going to make this club interactive with the community, with you as fans. And just thank you all very, very much.
Joe for the socials tonight, so thanks to Joe and Leslie.